Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Every day in America, suicides among the American military number at least 22 per day. This is far too many, but this number is a baseline. It is probably far greater, sadly. In conjunction with the movie The Keeper, which highlights a veteran who is suffering from PTSD and is contemplating ending his life, but decides not to do so and gets better. We want to help people remember and have in front of them the information that they need to highlight this tragedy and to hopefully reach out and help someone who is struggling in the same way as some of those were on the name tapes that our character carried throughout the movie The Keeper. So for 22 days, the Southern Fried Podcast is going to keep a sad number. We're going to keep a running tally using the baseline number 22, starting on September 2nd. And each day that we're on the air, we'll give the updated numbers. We want to highlight this not to promote a number, but to make a difference. There may be someone you know you need to reach out to, listen to, get the information to them. There's not a one-size-fits-all, but we need to let our veterans know that we care, we want to help, and that there's resources for them. The Southern Fried Podcast is committed to do their part to bring this number down. 1 is too many. 22 is an atrocity.
Good morning.
Morning.
How is everybody out there in Southern Fried Podcast Cornbread Nation? Good morning. Maybe you look like you're not feeling so hot this morning.
No, not too good.
Uh-oh. Well,
Been a little under the weather, but we'll get better. Was sick all day Sunday. I did make it to church Sunday morning. I toughed it out. We were invited to a dinner at a church I grew up in, and by the time I got home, I was pretty rough, and I didn't make it back last night to church, and so I got a rule for me, no matter, and I didn't feel good. So we had a technical issue yesterday morning, computer updating, so it threw me off. Wasn't able to get that, then got sick, and then last night's SFP News Desk was not aired. If I don't go to church, I'm not getting on the air. So that's God comes first. So I will make that up. I hope tonight. I know there's a lot of news. We definitely want to cover that. We won't have time this morning to dive in too deep, but just to say this morning before we do anything else, pray for President Trump. I mean, how in the world? This is the second time where, and this time we want to give credit to the Secret Service that was playing a few holes ahead of him, who spotted this guy, Mr. Ruth, who is in custody, who had of course, he had a GoPro. He had his rifle. They saw the muzzle pointed through the fence. He had him a little gun nest set up there. They shot back at him. He ran, jumped in the vehicle, took off. They caught him. Citizens helped with that. President's okay. They've scrubbed his social media already, but there was a lot of screen grabs before they did that, and there's enough out there if you want to see who he was and what he supported. It's there. So, but the story is that this is the second attempt that we know of, and just thankful that he's okay.
Yes.
They the rhetoric and we can attack each other all day long on policy and other things, but neither side can attack each other in that way. And there have been some comments that have seemingly could have been taken the wrong way about leading to violence. There have been those who have said that, not just against him, but against others as well. Can't have that kind of talk in America. Cannot. Well, I won't support anybody that supports violence either way. And we just cannot have that. We can debate, we can rip each other real hard on politics in America, and we do it. That just comes with it. But you can't say that. And I'm not saying that they said do this, but when you throw labels out there, you have to be real careful with that. That puts people in danger. And not only the president, you're putting the Secret Service in danger. You're putting citizens of this country who have sworn their lives to protect the president and the former presidents and their family with their lives. And so we need to clamp down on that.
And since when did it become okay, if you don't like somebody's views on politics, to kill them? Since when did that become the accepted thing? Or if someone bullies you in school, for you to go in there with a gun and just wipe them out?
It's not, and it's not okay. And I will say this: I don't care which side. The media has to cover this story. They'll kill this story as quick as possible because it's him. People deserve a right to know what this guy, who he was, what he was, everything leading up to to that point where he's pointing a gun through a fence. I think it should all be on the table. The Lord knows they put everything on the table for everybody else. Come on, networks, do your job. You're a journalist. Do your job. And what happened in investigative reporting? Citizens are doing it. Thank goodness for it. Yeah. If they hadn't of this information would have been lost forever because they scrubbed it. So two social medias. I'm not going to name them, but Rob, we're on one of them or two of them really. They've scrubbed it, and you can't get it now. Whether that's them doing it or the FBI or whoever. Well, unless there's something there that needs to be kept private now for the investigation and prosecution, it should all be left there for people to see. That's my opinion.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. We were running all day yesterday. We had the radio on in the car. Now, Jenny and I went to Dothan. We went down to Florida, and we spent the day running. We didn't get back in until late last night, but this is the first I heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I will say I was watching a little bit of a football game, and one of the three-letter networks did break in. I'd already heard about it. It was all over social media. Went and seen. I had a name even before they come on, but they come on and interrupted and said this has happened, that he was safe, and the suspect was in custody. They did say that, and then they went back to football. But it's just sick in this country that if you're conservative, these news stories get scrubbed, or they get downplayed, and they get put on, as the old press saying was, on the back page. And now they don't even put it on the back page. A lot of times they just don't even cover it. It's criminal. I mean, you're a news organization. This is news. This is the president or former president, possible future president of the nation. When do we not cover that? And we should cover it fully. They got to where they didn't. They clamped down on the previous one as quick as they could, and they mocked it. Yeah. Cover these stories. This guy's a deranged. I mean, okay, you can hate a person. You have it right. You can hate them. You can hate them as a news person, but you got to do your job. Plus, bullets that were fired because of his actions could have hit innocent bystanders. Those people, because they have a job to protect. The Secret Service opened up on him. The bullets go until they hit something. Mm-hmm. And there were people, I mean, and he has a right to go play golf. He has a right to be on his course. You don't go in a dungeon. He has a right to those things. We have a right to do things, and we have a right to be protected from evil people. And it just needs to be covered, and they should cover it. So anyway, we will dive back into that. We've got a program tonight, and maybe we may do it afterwards, or it may be Tuesday night. It just depends, because I've got a lot to cover. But SFP News Desk will be covered. And yes, the Sunday morning in the Word will be covered. We'll just be a little late. So I did tell you it would be Psalms 53. So anyway, that was been a rough last day or so. It happens. Not looking for sympathy. It's just everybody goes through something. Yesterday into today was mine. So, and but I want to be here.
Good.
So, want to give a shout out as well this morning to a couple others. Again, ongoing things that we're covering. Of course, sadly the 22 a day 15, I think this is, if I looked at that right or whatever it was, and it's 300. It's on the scroll, 330. Yeah, 330. That's just baseline. We think it's much more. But if you'll follow George Eshelman on Facebook, he had some really pointed remarks that he looked into a camera and said, and you should follow him, George Eshelman. It's easy to find. He doesn't put filler. We'll say that. What he puts is substance.
He's the gentleman that the movie The Keeper was made about. So
yeah,
y'all check it out.
Well, he's a veteran who was considering suicide. So his remarks are always of value. And so I like to go look at them. And the movie The Keeper continues to rock on. And again, streaming is getting closer on Amazon Prime, November 8th. Third shout out this morning as we think about things that we're covering. And we very much enjoyed our interview with the resistance group, as I'm calling them, against the monkey farm in Bainbridge, Georgia. Were kind enough to give us an interview. And if you have not seen that, you're one of the few that haven't. Honestly, we thank you for all the views on that. So that means information is getting out. There's a lot of shares, and they're promoting that through all of their contacts. And that's what it was intended for. Keep doing that. And we challenge anybody listening in this morning to go to our Facebook page or any of the streams. It's on any of them. And just look for the interview of the monkey farm and Stop the Monkey Business and whatever it's called there. It's called maybe a little bit different things, but go to any of our streams and watch that video and then forward it on and get the information out there. And Robert, you'll be active this week in joining them for a meeting.
Yes, we're going to be meeting up in Dawsonville, Georgia on September 19th at the Osceola Hotel at 6:30 p.m. So anybody in this area, Colquitt, Dawsonville, Blakely, Bainbridge, as far away as you want to come over here to it, it's going to be once again, Dawsonville, Georgia. It's going to be September 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Osceola Hotel. And you can get a lot more information and meet some of these people and deal with them, and you'll find out that they're good people and they're trying to stop something that could have some horrible consequences.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They've also pointed out some council meetings, commission meetings, and different things on their site that's coming up that they're going to be attending. And also, don't forget, I think it's Robert Tuesdays at 5:30 or 6:30, the prayer meeting.
Yeah,
that happens, and she talks about that in the interview. If you can't go and you're not in the area like me, stop at that moment and pray.
Yeah,
believe in the power of prayer. So,
amen to that.
But look those folks up. Go out and support that. Go out and support prayer. Send them your. Let them know you prayed. That'll mean a lot to them. Whenever you got a campaign going on, you need encouragement. They need encouragement. They're fighting a battle. And honestly, Rob, they said the major networks and stuff has just abandoned them now. They've not followed up with them, and they're just appreciative that we come in and wanted to do something. And so it's our honor. And so we thank you for your kind comments. We thank you for being willing to come on and help us be a part of it so that we can help you share that story. And so we appreciate your kindness very much. And there's some remarks in there that are, you don't take much to figure out what's going on. So, and again, it's an illegal matter, so we have to watch what we say on some things, but we have a right to say what we like or don't like. And so I think as individuals, we have said that. And as a podcast, we've said that.
Yeah. Also, they have a Facebook group on Facebook, Stand Up Bainbridge, a call to action. So pop in there, join that, let people see you, support them. They need it badly.
Oh,
and that's right in my backyard. And some of the information that's come out is just absolutely disgusting to me. And it's in my backyard.
Yeah. I mean, right down the road. And, that's frustrating to know. Mm-hmm. And just some of the stuff that's, they said went on and stuff as meetings not being announced like they should. And I think that was admitted by those officials. So it's nothing, we're not painting a story here that's not true. I mean, they've made mistakes. Citizens have to, that's what citizens do. You have to hold your elected officials accountable. How do you do that? You contact them. You go to their meetings. You send emails. You call them. You do all these things that you can do. You rally. You protest. That's our rights as Americans, and don't let them get away. Call them on it, because if you don't, they'll do it again.
Yeah.
They'll do it again. And when I see meetings that are shut down, and we had one in this area, by the way, the mayor resigned of Rossville, and I think another official, there's just been some stuff that's went on that's not right, some improprieties, but the council at one meeting just, shut the meeting down. And, without, really answers that we needed, you need to hold these people accountable. And then that one in Alabama where they did shut it down right in the middle where people couldn't speak, and they said, this is our city. And anyway, it's just, it's frustrating to see that, because we need to have, they use that word transparency a lot, but we need to have transparency. We certainly need to have that.
Yes.
That's a lot on a Monday, and there's more. It's just, there's more there. I've got another one floating around here, but I want to give a couple of things from the weekend. Some of this is from the weekend, but or even the end of last week. But dogs are not number one now, nor should they be. They played horribly against a very determined Kentucky team, and Kentucky deserves a lot of credit. It seemed like they wanted it a little more, but Georgia holds on by a point and escapes Lexington with some of their rear end left. Not much. The boys in Kentucky came to play. Credit out to them. I salute you.
Yeah.
Dogs continue on. They do get the W. Great games, great college games of the weekend. Some great pro games.
I haven't seen this yet either, but I'm guessing Texas will be number one.
Texas is number one already. They've already moved up in one of the polls, and they should be. I say that as a dog fan. They should be. Georgia did not play well. They survived. We'll take the W. And again, I'm not super big on us staying number one. That's a target. It's fine. Top 12 is going to go, and we win your conference you're in. So, but the big showdown against us in Texas is looming. First, we got Alabama.
Mm-hmm. And I wondered how much of that the Georgia players were looking ahead to other stuff. We got some rough games coming up, and if they get distracted,
could be. There was some injuries. They were a little thin in a couple of spots, but I'm not saying they didn't play hard, because if they hadn't, they wouldn't have won. But it just seemed like the energy, and it's hard to play on the road in the SEC.
Yeah,
but
it seemed like play calling wasn't really all that spectacular.
No, it was horrible. I talked to some dog fans over the weekend, and everybody says really the same thing. So we can't all be wrong. Everybody says the same thing. We said it exactly. Had not talked, did not watch it together, and said exactly the same thing. So anyway, Braves do take the series against the Dodgers. They lost yesterday, though. So they are still in the dogfight, but they are moving up on Arizona. So it's going to be a three-way race here if Braves and Mets can advance on. But they're tied for that last wild card, and so take that, Dodgers.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Phillies are the first team to 90 wins. Of course, unfortunately, they're in the Braves division. So,
Yeah, of course.
but the Braves did play very well over the weekend. Give them credit. Salute them as well this morning. Oh my goodness, I had 2 or 3 other things. I'll think of them here in a minute. Shout out to all. By the way, another shout out. If you missed Friday's Front Porch Talking parts 1 and 2, which a lot of people have watched that because we're seeing a lot of views on that too. Part 1 features Cowboy Cook going through Walmart on a smart cart, asking people random questions. That was Southern Fried Podcast gold. I just got to say that. The Cook, it was a treasure.
We're going to have to just go out there with phones, every one of us to different locations, and just challenge people to ask each other to ask different questions.
Yeah, I laughed all weekend. Oh my goodness.
My wife had nothing to do with it, but
yeah. Well, she didn't want to shop. But maybe we get her to be one of the shoppers that we talk to.
No. I can just see me now. Hey, good looking. What you think of grocery prices? If you don't get away from me, I'm gonna go. No. It's not going to end well, dude.
We did not set that up ahead of time. That was on the fly. Cook, we didn't even know he was coming in. He had the link out there. He usually has all this trouble coming in. He popped right on in, and so we took advantage of it. And the best things are not planned. We had a lot of folks in the comments. We have a special guest tonight on Mama Said. Chick Bait will be with us. I've emailed with her over the weekend. I think we sent her on a wild goose chase, Rob. I think we misspelled Southern when we sent her the email thing. So she got that fixed. Then when the email came in, it went to our spam. But we got it all figured out over the weekend. I think she's good. We're good. And we're looking forward to meeting Miss Chick Bait. She does have a real name, but we'll see if she wants to reveal that. That's up to her. But she sounds like a hoot. She's been a lot of fun coming into the stream, and lives outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and has offered to come up. And we've been wanting, somebody of the other gender to come in on Mama Said, and so it's our first one. So, Chick Bay, I don't know if you listened this morning, but we look forward to having you tonight. Yes. Hope Daniel's okay. He friended me on Facebook. We friended each other and saw a few things he was doing. So good morning, Daniel, wherever you're at. Good morning, Michael. Who else am I missing? Paul.
Chris.
Hopefully see Chris soon. We're all battling. We're battling something, every one of us. So,
well, the only thing I'm battling right now is all these good looks. A lot of you people may not know this out there, but the main reason why they asked me to be on here is because of my rugged good looks and to be some clickbait. And all y'all out there, y'all go ahead and click on.
Well, we'll
probably feel good this morning.
We'll probably get some hate mail now.
No hate mail. Nope. I can tell you're not feeling good this morning. And, just because you're not feeling good, I'm probably not going to do what about the chupacabra, Dave? Chupacabra. I'm probably not even going to do that this morning because you don't feel good. And I don't.
I already had a message typed out to you that I wasn't going to be on, but I said I got to do it. These things going on are too important, and I just wanted to come in really and talk about those things this morning. It's just vitally important as we head towards an election that we pray for our nation, and among all the other things that I wanted to mention this morning, I mean, the fact that we've had 2 attempts, it's never happened before that I know of, 2 attempts on a president's life within a span of 60 days. former, current, doesn't matter to me. He's still president of the United States. He's running for the office of president of the United States. And I want to, these cursory, by the way, you can keep your apologies on the left. You can keep them. They always say, you know what? They mock us. Rob. I'm going to stop. This is me. This is David Cordell. I'm going to stand in my soapbox. I'm not going to drag Robert into this or even the podcast, but I am on here and I'll say it. They always mock us Christians and say you can keep your prayers and your thoughts and prayers. I see that all the time. They will say, we want to take your guns away. And so you just keep your prayers and your thoughts to yourself. Well, you can't stop me from praying, so I'm going to keep praying. And I'll pray for you because the Bible says to pray for everybody. But you know what? You can keep your apology because your apology was lame. You didn't mean it. In fact, you're the minority leader of the House, I think is his title, come out and after this and wanted to attack MAGA. So you can keep your apologies. We don't need them because you don't mean what you say. You're not sincere. And until that party comes out en masse and truly makes a determined effort to clamp down on this rhetoric, I don't listen to them. They don't mean it. I'm usually not this strong. I usually just try to go right down through the middle and be nice. But that's my little piece this morning. I'm pretty upset about it. You can keep your apologies because you don't mean them, and we'll keep praying for our president, Donald J. Trump, and his family. And there's a lot of people that are upset that joined with me in that this morning. And I do appreciate those because, like I said, they took a lot of heat on the first one, deserved. I do appreciate those men and women of the Secret Service who jumped all over this. They released information pretty quickly, and they got it out there. And I'm sorry, Rob, you didn't hear about it. It should have been on every news station, every radio, that everything that they had a ability to break into. That should have been breaking news, and that's. It really kind of tells where we're at, Rob. It just tells where we're at. That when this guy put the muzzle through there, was fixing to. He was waiting on him to come up to that hole, and he was going to kill him. And due to Secret Service agents out there ahead of 2 holes ahead or whatever it was, saw him and opened fire on him. They didn't wait for the gunfire; they opened fire on him. Kudos to them. And citizens, I think there was a citizen who got the news out there right away. A citizen, I think, took maybe a picture or called in, and they got this guy out there. You know what? There's just no place for that in our country. No place. No. Pray for our nation. I say pray. They can't stop us. Pray. I still pray for my enemy. Well, right now they're saying they're acting as though they're my enemy, but I don't take their apology. I don't, because they don't mean it. It's not a real apology.
No.
That just has me fired up this morning.
They keep shoveling this rhetoric out there. Oh, it's okay. But you know what? They're trying to kill the only man, the only candidate in this right now in this country on this election cycle who won a primary, who's gotten a vote.
Yeah.
And they're trying to kill him. But this man actually won his primary. It wasn't just handed to him.
And listen, I know the rhetoric from the right has been pretty rough about Biden about a lot of things, deservedly, because of not being on the job and things he has said and gasped. But I have heard so many people on the right, so many people. I can verify that in my church, the president of the United States and the vice president, all the leaders of our country are prayed for on a service basis. Every service we're in. And so many on the right have said that they thought it was an atrocity that they were pushing Joe Biden out there sick like that. And they felt bad for him because everybody said, listen, I had a grandfather that was like that, or I had a dad or a mom that was like that. It's not funny to put this man out there and have this going on to him. The forgetfulness, the seemingly getting lost and everything else. I saw a lot of compassion. A lot of compassion. Well, where's the compassion coming back the other way? Where is the compassion? You can't find it. You can't find it.
If you don't agree with their rhetoric, then they don't think you're deserving of compassion. You have to agree with their rhetoric first.
I mean, that very weekend, there was a lot of strong rhetoric that was being put out there about him and about MAGA. And even, like I said, even in the supposed apology, they blasted MAGA. Can't you put aside your hate for a day? Can't you just get up there and say from your heart, I am, and not only heart, can't you get a little fire in you and say, I'm mad about this? That whoever he is, and if he was a supporter of that side and had donated, from what I saw, I'm only going by what I saw, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But can't you say that? Can't you denounce that? And get out and join hands. We're a nation. We're not two nations. We're one nation. You fight your political battles, yes. Have a rough campaign. That just seems to come with the territory. But there are times to join hands as Americans. There's time to join hands as politicians. And if you're not willing to join hands up as our leaders that we've elected to put into office and stand against this united, then you don't deserve the spot that you sit in, and I hope you're voted out. That's what I'll say. And I don't care what your political letter is in front of your party. I don't care. If you can't do that for both sides, step down, because you're a disgrace to the United States of America. That's what I have to say on that.
And I'm gonna throw another thought out there too, and and this needs to sink in. As far as the left goes, they believe they could run this country with half the population. As long as they've got half, they're happy. They don't care nothing about the other half. They want to take care of their half.
They make that very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear.
They can slam us every chance they get, every bit of rhetoric they can, and we all get lumped into MAGA, the evil MAGA on the right. I get so sick of hearing this. What about the people that they call us evil? What about the people that are doing late-term abortion? What about up to the week before? I mean, come on. And they say, we don't do that. It happens.
It does happen. That was a big thing in the debate. They tried to attack him on. He knows it happens. Well, that's another one. That's another one. Be willing to step up and say what a monster Mr. Gosnell was in Philadelphia in that house of horrors that he had going on up there. That's another story they killed. Go look that one up. That man was a monster. Go look it up. It doesn't mean you have to change your opinion about what you believe in. What it is that you say, this is evil and it's wrong, and we stand against it. We need to do that. On a lighter note, and I do want another shout out. I think I'm on up to 4 or 5, but we had a lot of great things going on. ARA, Rob, they've got an important event coming up. How about talking about that for a second?
They're right now accepting donations for their annual silent auction, and if anybody in this area wants to contribute to that, they are more than happy to accept them. Just drop them off there at ARA right here between Donaldsonville and Colquitt. The silent auction is going to be on October 25th. And look, this company does a lot for our community. But, these dogs and cats that people don't want, that they take up there, they give them a home, they feed them, they get them spayed and neutered, they give them their shots, and they keep the place clean. It's an amazing place, and everybody that works there is a part of that amazing atmosphere. And they need our support. They support our community throughout the year. It's our turn to support them back. So if you have anything, if you want to contribute, donate, time, items for the auction, whatever, they'll be happy to take it.
Yeah, and lastly for ARA, they have had some adoptions happen in the last couple of weeks. I'm glad to hear that, cat and dog. So that's awesome. That is awesome.
Happy. We like to see get their forever homes, and I say that fur, as in if you are forever home. So because I love it. A dork.
By the way, Rob,
you didn't have to agree with that.
No. I was thinking of something else, and I saw these memes out there. This horrible story, out of whatever state it is, where I don't want to make people sick on the Monday, but supposedly the animals are being, consumed. We'll say it that way, by people that shouldn't even be here. But the memes have been amazing. I know you've had to have seen some of them, Rob.
I've seen one.
Oh yeah, you did.
But the cats had the Mission Impossible music in the background.
Yeah, I saw. That was great. And then there's the one with the sign that says "Eat more chicken." Oh my goodness, man! The best part of internet and social media is the memes.
I'll
They will lighten your day.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. But I'll tell you what, let's run our commercial here real quick. I am awfully low on some coffee here. If I start us one, if I don't make it back, will you run one more?
As long as we don't have Friday all over again, brother. The last time we did this, well, not the last time, well, but the last morning show we did, we had medical. So be glad to just
all right. Well,
make
here
it
goes
back sound and sure.
Keep your fingers crossed. I didn't have a good day yesterday, but fingers crossed, we're going to go for it.
The Southern Fried Podcast now has its own store. Go to sfplive.com/store. These links are also found on Facebook and X and some of the other social streams. You will find shirts and hats and mugs and bags and all kinds of items with many different designs. These are just but a few of the more than 250 items that we have with different designs. We hope you'll come and shop, support the podcast. Every dollar that is paid will go towards keeping the podcast growing, and we thank you for your support. sfplive.com/store. Go shop today and get that favorite person in your life their Southern Fried Podcast item, and it'll help us advertise the podcast as you wear these things or take these things out into the public. We thank you for your support. If you have any questions, email us at southernfriedpodcast@yahoo.com. We'll be glad to answer. We're running some specials as well, 20, 25, and even 30% off in some cases. This will eliminate the mailing charges for sure. So go to sfplive.com/store for your Southern Fried Podcast items today. Remember, Christmas is just around the corner. Thank you. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we ask you to join us each Monday night for one of our very special programs, Mama Said. About 7 p.m. each Monday, we'll be talking about those things that Mama has said or does say, or that we just remember that she said for those of us who have lost our moms. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes we think of the things that we did that made our moms mad. Sometimes we think of those things we wish we could hear Mama say again. Even when she was telling us to go get the hickory. Hey, we loved our moms, and we appreciate all the things that Mama said. This is one of the things that the Southern Fried Podcast is built its foundation on, was programs like this, Mama Said. So join us. Send us those notes of what your mama said. Maybe she said some things that are a little different than what our mom said. We'd like to include that in the program. We're thankful for our moms. God was good to us to give us the wonderful gift of moms in our life. So join us each Monday night for the Southern Fried Podcast. Very special program, Mama Said. Thank you so much for watching. And we're back.
Yes. We have
along that note, I saw a female comedian from Kentucky, and she was covering she could have been a Mama Said spot because she was covered about going to get the hickory and interplay on that. It was really funny. I loved it. I just saw that, I think, yesterday or last night or something. But yeah, it was great. And again, Chickbait by her handle will be in tonight, hopefully in the Mama Said. So come, let's have fun. I got a feeling this is going to be a hoot of a show, Rob.
Yes. Yeah, she's been a hoot thus far. That's for sure. She keep you on your toes. I think, when you're talking about Mama Said, going to get a hickory, I think we handled that back then all wrong. I really do. I think we should have played deaf. Go get me a hickory. Huh? I said, go get me a hickory. What'd you say, Mom? I didn't hear you. Go get me a hickory. No habla. and just see, and we could have seen. Maybe she would have got concerned and taken us to the doctor instead.
No, well, mine would have just told my daddy, and daddy would have made sure that I needed a doctor.
Keep it going. If you're going to go that far with it, just keep it going. What'd you say, Daddy?
I would have rear enditis. My rear end be allergic to the belt. I have to go get treatment for it. Appreciate all you folks from X coming in. By the way, thanks to all Patriots for we've been trying to follow as many as we can, Patriots, and they've been reciprocating, and we're closing in on we're getting up there closer and closer to 4,500 of followers and on and beyond. So we appreciate all the follows and those that come in when we do go live. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I had a lot of great, Rob, one of the things I love, X, there's things I don't like about it, and I think all the people on X they don't really care for how the algorithms are going right now. And, that seems to not always give you the views that you should have. But anyway, that being said, one of the blessings of following X right now is all the people that are posting about their days sober. How many, if it's days, 2 weeks, 3 years, it just goes to show you. And some of them are even posting one, like the very first day they started till now, and the difference in how they look, their image, how much better looking they are. Their skin looks good. They look happy. And I try to encourage as many of those as I can, because you know what, that affects every family in America is the tragedy of addiction.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one I need to throw out this morning. If you're a veteran or a veteran that you want us to honor on the show, send us his information at Southern Fried Podcast at yahoo.com. Out there, it's on the scroll right there. Send us his information so we can put him up on our Veteran of the Week on Saturday. Living, deceased, someone else, we don't care. If it's a veteran, we want to honor him. Y'all just send us the information.
Our last veteran we honored this week has had a lot of views. A lot of people really love those. If they're deceased, we play taps and, just tell a little bit about them. We appreciate them. And I hope some of these get back to their families and let them know that they're not forgotten.
Yes.
And there's other organizations that do that, but we definitely want to be a part of that.
Yes. Dads, granddads, moms, grandmas, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters. We don't care. You put them on here.
By the way, I wasn't feeling good, but I did go by a cemetery yesterday, and we've got to go back. I went and looked at a War Between the States ancestor that I have. I wanted to take the kids. Everything was there, but the flag, one of the camps locally put the battle flag there for him, because he served on the southern side. But I got to go back. The just part of the grave was covered up, and I was so sickened by it. And I told my wife, I said, I got to check on this a lot sooner. I think I'm the only one doing it. And two of my grandkids were with me, and they said, "Can we come?" One calls me Papa, another Papa, and I said, "Absolutely." So a couple of challenges this morning. We're going to start. I'm going to try to make, try to take some pictures before and after and stuff like that. But get your kids or grandkids or great grandkids or whatever involved. Go. We should go clean the graves and put flowers on for anybody, but especially, Robert, military veterans. I mean, my goodness, it's just sad. I got to go do a little work there. It's nothing that can't be done within an hour or two, maybe less. If I got some help, should be able to do that, and we're going to keep a closer check on that. Another thing I did was I took a few pictures, and I'm gonna do not this morning. There's a story that I have told, and I took a picture. But I went back to the church I grew up in. I took a few pictures of the church, and it was just a blessing to walk around. And my heart was is there in a lot of ways because I grew up there. And there's a Bible that's on display, and I'm going to do a little bit. We might do that in one of our night programs, Rob, and just pop those up, and we'll tell a little bit of story about that. So that's on a future program this week sometime. I want to show a couple things there.
Okay.
And so we should, Rob, maybe we should do a shout out to a church a week too or something. You know what? There's so many great ones out there. And shout out to those pastors who are standing tall, Rob, standing tall in this day and time when it's never been, Christianity has always been under attack. But these men of God who stand in the face of so many things and they preach the word and they're faithful to it. And it's going to get tougher. It's going to get tougher. My message yesterday was in 1 Peter, and I felt horrible, but I was committed to that sermon. And Peter, is talking about persevering through persecution at the end of chapter 4. And when we think of I told my congregation this, and we'll move along. I said, let's see, we had Jesus. This morning we're in the book of Peter. We referenced Brother Paul, and I even threw in Brother, one of the other disciples. I said, what happened to all those men? Well, they were killed, right? They were killed for their faith. And so there's a lot of brothers and sisters around the world who are locked up today. They're being tortured, persecuted. In some cases, churches burned down, Bibles burned, songbooks, and yes, killed for their faith. Let's remember those that are suffering through that. Those that are in bonds, the Bible tells us to remember those that's been locked up, for their faith. So I just think that's another shout out we should do.
Yeah, and another thing, we need to remember how fortunate we are in this country that we don't have to deal with that. We take that for granted a lot.
Yeah.
So when these people out there tell us, well, I don't want your thoughts and prayers, tough. You're getting them, whether you want them or not. And it's our right to pray for who we want to pray for.
Yeah, they like to say it's empty because if we really cared, we'd take away guns. Come on.
Yeah.
Just because we don't follow your path on what you think is how to fix all this, that keep our thoughts and prayers.
The guns have always been there. The guns have been a part of this country since it was established. The guns have always been there. It's not the gun's fault. It's a tool. It's a shift in our moral compass that is causing this. Our moral compass is not what it was then. Our moral compass now is I'm right, and anybody that's wrong doesn't agree with me is wrong, and therefore has no value. That's a moral problem, not a gun problem.
Well, and the more you mix kids up in their head, and they're their youth and confusing them about who they are and what they are, and you put them on. Again, we're not against medications properly given, but some medications do have serious side effects, and that has to be administered correctly. You can't go cold turkey off of those. You can't just stop. And some of those medications, Rob, that some of these school shooters have been on, they can have a side effect of hearing voices. I'm not excusing what they've done, but they may have serious mental issues, and it could be exacerbated by medicines that's incorrectly given or not being taken. There's a lot of issues here at play, but they always go to the gun. Yeah. But they talk about a well-regulated militia, so it's only to be the people that are at police or military that has a gun. Well, who did they think that fought for the country when we fought the British?
Yeah.
Farmers that came out, picked up a weapon and said, "I'm fighting for freedom."
Yeah. But see, these same people, they're attacking the parents as well. What they're doing is they're trying to show that we're not responsible enough to have firearms. So, if the kid goes nuts, and I'm not saying that the parents don't bear any responsibility in this. I don't, because a lot of times they should have been locked up. But there again, it's hard to use a gun that's locked up in a cabinet somewhere if you need it. Do you have time to get it? But that goes back into the left's argument. Well, if you're storing it properly, you don't have time to use it, to get it out and use it anyway.
Folks, I have stayed in the homes of pastors who had a weapon in every room because they lived out in the rural area. They had been people rolling through and attacking farms. Also, for wild animals that could come up, they had guns that were, yes, loaded and ready to go in gun racks or in the corner of the room. And you know what? That's their castle. That's their castle. They have a right to. They don't need trigger locks and all that. They're up away from little kids. All their kids were teenagers or above. Some are off to college. That's it. It's all about control, man. It's all about control. Some people don't know how to handle stuff. Well, get them. We need to get educated. I have said that if I'm not for regulation, for a lot of regulation, but it wouldn't be a bad thing for everybody who's going to buy guns to go through a gun safety course. There's a guy locally that's teaching how to shoot a gun and clean a gun and load a gun and all that. And in a couple more years, I'm gonna take Kaylee through it. Me and her is going to go through it. He's an ex police officer, and everybody that has his classes sell out really fast. And he does a great job. I've seen some video, and she wants to go through something like that, and I do too. And we'll go together. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we just so many things. But yeah, the whole keep your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah,
we'll pray anyway. That's like they say you can't pray in school. Who said?
Yeah,
I can pray anywhere I go.
You darn skippy.
That you can pray. You can pray anywhere you go. Nobody can stop you from praying.
No, they'll make an exception for somebody that's not a Christian. To do their sunrise, sunset, and all that kind of stuff. They'll do that.
By the way, I can take my Bible wherever I want to go, and I can read my Bible wherever I want to.
That's right.
There's nobody can tell you can't do that. Now, I don't need to be doing it while I'm supposed to be doing my job, or if I'm supposed to be studying in a class. But you get breaks, and there are times that you can take your Bible and you can open it up and you get fed from the Word. And nowadays they're on the phones. I mean, you could easily do it, but there's just something broad about carrying around a Bible. I mean, you know what? I know it's in your phone and everything, but that Bible gets attention. It definitely gets attention.
Yeah.
So I was saying, Rob, this whole idea that somehow Christians are sissified or something. Come on. The greatest warriors of America are Christian. I mean, come on. They say they can't be aggressive enough to win or aggressive enough to win in a ball game. You might want to check up and go see who's a Christian, who's laying the wood there on the football field, and you'll take back those words.
Hey, y'all don't think Christians are tough? Go back and look up and see how many professional wrestlers were pastors.
Yeah,
go look that up. I'm not going to call any names. I want you to look it up. It'll surprise you. Some of them will absolutely surprise you. Yeah, and I think it's amazing. So,
yeah.
And I know it's wrestling, but it's still wrestling. It's just
go get in the ring with them.
Yeah.
Let them do a pile drive with you. You lay on the mat and let them jump off the top rope. And you better hope they're really good at what they do.
Amen to that. You don't want to miss them, that's for sure. But I'm going to see if I can. I'm not going to call the name out, but we watched Hitchcock last night. And I'm going to see, we're going to go back next week, and I'm going to see if I can get an interview with somebody about the church down there and see if we can get it up. I like that thing that you mentioned about putting up a church. Let's mention a church. I love it. I love it. Some different town. Let's just interview the pastor about his church.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do, man. I just felt that sitting here that we should do that. I think it'd be
I like
awesome.
that.
It'd be awesome.
Some of these churches have a lot of historical content with them too. It's amazing. So, well, let's do that. But also, we have our front porch talking and stuff like that. We're working on Main Street USA, and we've got some stuff going on that. But if anybody has a local business or anything like that, small business, and you need help or you want some free advertising, you get in touch with us. We'll help you out on that.
Absolutely. Well, it doesn't matter if you're in Oregon or all the way up in Maine. I don't care.
Yeah, it don't matter.
With the power of the internet, we get on here together. You send us pictures and we'll share your menu or what your business does, and you can use it locally.
Yeah. So
And if it's up north, they can laugh at our accents.
Yeah. These are things that we don't make money off that. We're not interested in that. And free is hard to come by in this day and age. We do it, we put it up, you share it, and go. And we'll get good results with it. So
now, if somebody wants to advertise with us, bring it on.
Yeah.
That's totally up to you. You'd like to do that? We won't turn it down. It'll just advance the podcast. That's totally up to you. But we're not on Main Street. We're not doing that. So, and if you advertise with us, we'll do even more. Good morning, Miss Stella.
How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing well.
We've probably rocked our ears off. We've been pretty. This is about as hardcore as we get. We're usually laughing and cutting up, but I'm fired up this morning, Rob. I really, really am. I'm really just sick about. I'm sick, but I'm sick about this lack of compassion for the president by members of our Congress. Being again the second time, Rob. I'm going to say it again. The second time they've come out in 60 days to the day, I think it was, and. 60 days ago, you were going live with Chris to talk about the first one, and we were shocked then. Now we see this one, and we're still, around 50 days, or maybe it's 51, 52, whatever it is, but from the election, it's getting close. So,
yes, it is. Well, Miss Stella, did you see our video about the no monkeys or the no monkey business?
No, stop the monkey business.
Yes. But as this world goes on, it's we pray for everybody, and we want the Lord to work in everybody's life. That is all. And whether they agree with us or not, it doesn't matter, because in the end, the Lord's will be done. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to just sit back and take it. We need to aggressively pray. We need to aggressively reach out to people. Not aggressive, but enthusiastically reach out to people.
She just got on, so you'll have to direct her to where to see that video.
I will. It's right down on our. In fact, it's pinned on our Southern Fried Podcast. It'll be at the top. So it'll be one of the first videos you see.
Yeah, we made that. That was Thursday, I think we did that, Rob. Wasn't it Thursday that we got on with the folks?
Friday.
Friday. Okay, I know that's right. It's Friday.
Yeah.
So it's been viewed a lot over the weekend, and we're just now getting to Monday. So some people might check out on the weekend, went and did other things, but get in there and keep her rolling, keep her getting out there. They haven't had this kind of coverage in a long time, and there's a lot of things coming up for them. So
absolutely, but so I want to encourage everybody this morning, whether you agree with people or not, pray for them, and encourage people to pray for you, because we all need our prayer. We all need prayer for, and we all need to pray for others. So, that's always wonderful. I enjoy when family comes around. Oh, I bet they had y'all jumping and hopping. Oh, I think the world of Miss Della. She is a trooper. I really do think the world of her.
I bet Miss Stella wouldn't want that monkey farm in her back door. I'll bet. I can bet on that. I believe I'll be solid in saying that.
Yeah, I would say that you are correct.
She wouldn't want no monkey business going on around there.
Well, we at our hour mark. Dave's got to go to work. I got to get in here and do stuff too. So we want to pray for y'all. Y'all pray for us, and we ask y'all's prayer in the direction that we go here as well for God's guidance for the podcast. Oh yeah, I have enough monkeys as it is. Oh, yes, I can understand that sentiment entirely. So, but pray for everybody. You folks pray for you. Encourage people. Be a light in somebody's life today. So, we love all y'all. God bless you. Have a great day, and we will see y'all tonight at
7 o'clock.
Salute. Have a great morning, guys. And God bless you.